Spring training's just getting started, and already there's drama down in Clearwater. NBA All-Star Weekend and Max Crosby to the Eagles. We got lots to talk about. It's Overreaction Monday with a special guest to kick off this show, Trending in the AM. We're live in 30 seconds. And a very good morning, everybody. Welcome one, welcome all to Trending in the AM right here on the STT Sports Network. We're live, YouTube and Twitter. You know the drill. Hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that subscribe button, wherever it is on your screen. It is free to do. It is free to support your local content creators. It does not cost a thing. And we're going to have a very fast intro here this morning because we got a special guest joining us on the I Have No Sponsor hotline. Bringing the energy normally late at night, but today bringing the energy, well, trying to bring the energy early in the morning. You guys know him as Black Gritty. Good morning. What's it feel like to wake up in the morning to get on a microphone?
It's always rough for me. I went to bed at like 4:44, so yeah, I mean, popping back up after 3 hours on the snooze and palooze is always a rough start, but I can do it. I can power through. As soon as we get done, I'm going right back to sleep, though. So,
well, I won't keep you for a very long time, but you're up anyway. So
I'm already up now, so we're good.
I mean, it is what it is, dude. This is what I do every morning, wake up early. I went to bed not much later than you last night, just not able to sleep because I was so excited. We've had people on the show. I've been doing this show for about 5 years in the morning now, varying lengths of time, but always every morning. I've had a lot of requests for you, but I know you bring the energy at night, and it's always hard to get you on here.
Yeah, like I said, I don't mind making special occasions as long as I don't have to get up every day. I don't know how those guys with jobs do it.
It's having a job sucks. I'm just glad not to have a job right now. To kind of enjoy life. So let's get started here. Let's get right into one of the trending topics. If everybody's watching, we got a poll question running on the YouTube page right now. How do you feel about Bryce Harper's honest comments on his first day of training camp? I got 4 options for everybody. Love the honesty. Great. More drama. Option C is he should shut up and just hit. And option D is who cares, when do the Eagles play? Me and you, I posted something on Twitter yesterday. I thought we were going to argue a little bit about it, but I think we actually were just kind of on the same page a little bit. There was this billboard on 95, hashtag sell the team, directed at Josh Harris. And in an emotional, frustrated post, I said, so should John Middleton sell the team. And this was literally right after me watching the entire video of Bryce Harper talking to the media yesterday. And I had this Phillies frustration. And you were a little upset, briefly there that I wanted John Middleton to sell the team. Was that because you think John Middleton's doing a good job, or just because your frustration with Josh Harris?
First of all, Josh Harris has to sell the team. I don't know if you cuss on the show, but F Josh Harris, period, point blank. He doesn't care. All he cares about is his bank account. Middleton, I was at one of those WIP all-day baseball events, and it was after the 2022 run, and they played all the Phillies highlights, like back from the 60s and all the runs. It was a 15-minute clip, and he was on the panel. Nobody was talking. It's just a 15-minute clip of highlights. And around 7 or 8 minutes in, Middleton started crying. So when he says, I grew up loving this team and this is my team, and I was rooting for this team as a fan in the stands as a kid, watching at home on TV, listening to the radio with my dad, when that man cried over highlights. And I was like, you know what? You're forever going to be my owner, bro. Because all you ever want is somebody to care. I don't cry over the Phillies listening to highlights like that. You know what I mean? So you got $1 billion in your bank account and you hearing things makes you feel so emotional and attached to your childhood and growing up and loving the team. That's the first and foremost thing I want from an owner from the care. So Middleton, like you're not perfect. You didn't spend Middleton money. You kind of reeled back on that thing. But I mean, I can't. He doesn't have to sell the team ever, as far as I'm concerned.
My feeling was, just in that moment of frustration because it's literally day one. Actually, today is day one of full workouts for the Phillies, and you got drama already. You would have thought by this point, and for those that don't know, Bryce Harper spoke yesterday, and he talked about his frustrations with the Dave Dombrowski comments, the frustrations of the offseason. I mean, he spent 3 minutes just praising the Dodgers organization and how they do business over there. And while we complain about the Dodgers buying championships, I mean, he phrased it in a way that it made a lot of sense. And on top of all that, then he talked about Kyle Schwarber. Then my mind starts working in its obsessive way about, well, maybe this is why we can't get more free agents and stuff like that. The instant drama, why can't we just have one sports team go 1 year with no drama in this city?
So I see the comment that says, Harper causing drama for drama purpose at this point. Nah, B. First of all, if you want to do something, fire Dombrowski, fire Topper. I'm not a Topper guy. I'm now not a Dombrowski guy. So when you have the 1 star that you have paid and you're not going to pay anybody else that upper echelon, you're not going to give Bryce a bump, he's one of the faces of baseball. I'm sorry, Dombrowski. Shut your mouth and don't talk about this man. So when he says, I don't get motivated by that dude, you wore the elite shirt. We saw you, but we know that it's on your mind, on your heart. And guess what? The Philadelphia fan really starting to get on my nerves, and it's because Nick Foles won a Super Bowl. You want all these players to tell the truth and be honest and keep it real. When they're on the field and you're booing them and they say this place sucked, you cry about it. Cassie goes off and says what he says to the media because the media does ask dumb questions at times. So at least somebody can stand up for the clubhouse and say what they want to say. He toes the company line in the Miami incident. He wanted to come out the next day and talk about it. They told him don't. Mm-hmm. What do? Feed all these reports on his way out the door. They should have got rid of him a month ago. But instead, they held on to him for opening day to create all this drama around the positivity coming forth from the team. So the team has dropped the ball left and right. And I'm supposed to be mad about Harper? Harper's like, oh, y'all want to play games? Y'all want to have a good time? Well, let's have a good time. You want to talk about me on the way out? I'm going to talk about you on the way in. And let's see how the season goes. I can't even be mad at Bryce because, again, he's speaking facts as far as he's concerned. You put slander on my name. I've been on ESPN magazine at the age of 15 years old, and I've done nothing to go about handling my business. But you want to talk about me? Okay, let's talk about me and what your failures are.
I mean, just think about it. You look at this Phillies offseason, whether it was considered a success or not, you look at how Dave Dombrowski has handled it. And it got me thinking, Bichette don't want to come here. If he has one slight underachieving season, Dave Dombrowski's going to call him out. You look at Nick Castellanos and you bring up the media for a second. I don't know if you listened or read the whole letter he wrote, but he put a line in it. We talked on this show on Friday about this line about sport. The fans in this city were passionate, but we should not. What were the quote? We should not be married to the lenses of the media companies that cover him. And I didn't even know Nick Castellanos was that intelligent to put that deep thought process words together there. And I think that's a big problem right there. The casual fans, they're married to whatever the media tells them to. And if the media is criticizing somebody, the fans are going to go right along with it instead of coming up with, let's hate on the real problem, which is Dave Dombrowski, which is Rob Thompson and stuff like that.
If baseball wasn't in the life of Nick Castellanos and he was born in like 20 or 30 years earlier, he'd be a serial killer. He's 100% a thinker. The whole Scooby-Doo thing. He's sitting there looking at you well, bro, he's a dog though, right? The way his mind works and the way that he likes to slight people for their stupidity. There's a lot of times the interviewer asking such a dumb question. He's like, really? He's like, well, think about that. Why would you do that? And I'm like, you're right, Nick. I know you shouldn't be saying that. You're supposed to be media savvy, but sometimes you get tired of being asked the same dumb questions over and over again. How does it feel, Nick? You'll never know how it feels to hit a walk-off home run. And again, I'll take away the good times, because we're never going to win a World Series with this group. Dombrowski's never going to bring a World Series here. Topper's never going to win a World Series. He shouldn't even ever been a manager. And we had that one magical run of 2022. They should have won it then. They didn't. The bats go cold. It is on the players. I see people saying Bryce should whatever. And I get it. Bryce, first of all, I always say this. Bryce, thank you for choosing me, because nobody ever just comes to Philadelphia. We've either got to trade for an old star that's never going to do anything. But when it comes to a free agent just picking us, that is the face of a sport, it never happens in Philadelphia. We always get them on the second and third retread. So I thank him for coming here, giving us spark, embracing the city, wearing the Fanatic shoes, and all that jazz. So he's earned the right to say whatever he wants. He's one of the faces of baseball. Baseball's got a marketing problem. Bryce doesn't really have one of those problems and issues. So again, when you slander his name, you can't do it.
Nick Castellanos didn't even choose us. If you read the Matt Gelb article, it goes into detail where the Phillies offered him the contract, and he went back to his agent and said, "Are you sure there's nobody else that will give me something close so I can go there instead?" He only chose here because Dave Dombrowski massively overpaid versus his value, and he's like, "I guess I have no choice but to take this generational wealth and go to Philadelphia."
Yeah, and again, when he's a streaky guy. When it was good, it was great.
Yeah,
I didn't hear anybody complaining when his son and all those kids were in the front row going like this, and he's hitting back-to-back homers and just popping off, and everybody's throwing water on the daycare and all the kids and all that. So again, I'm not going to cry that he's gone. I'm happy that he's out of here and he's got someplace to go. I'm just saying management should have just dumped him a month ago. And you say, well, you can't just throw away $20 million. You had already burnt the $20 million in the way that you handled it and let him get loose and run in his mouth. You didn't check him in the first place. Again, Topper is a poor manager. There's a reason you're 9,000 years old and no one ever gave you a shot at being a manager. You're a second-tier guy. You're a clubhouse guy. You're a player guy. You're not the guy to manage a team to win a World Series.
I feel like I'm looking at myself in the mirror right now while I'm watching you talk, because I thought I was the only person in the last 4 or 5 years that ever talked about Rob Thompson like that. I was the one. So just to give you a little backstory on me, when we got to the playoffs in 2022, there was already talk of taking their interim tag off of Rob Thompson. I said I was only in my second year doing this show, and I sat here on the show and said they should not take the interim tag. He should not be the full-time manager in the World Series. I'm like, he should not be the full-time manager long-term for this team. He was catching I thought I was the only one that felt like that about him. And I'm just happy right now. I mean, we don't really look the same, but we both have nice bald heads and nice beards. But
polar bear, black bear. You know what I mean? Same. So my first issue with him in the postseason was he is predictable. He doesn't adjust. You're playing the Diamondbacks, and a guy's hitting 17 for 17. Could you walk him once? The dude's going nuclear. He hasn't missed at bat in 3 series now. But Topper, just throw at him. Then that guy says something to his manager. His manager benches him for a game and then brings him back, and he goes back on his hitting streak. And I'm sitting there see how that manager checked that kid who was on fire, by the way. Mm-hmm. Checked him. Wasn't worried about messing up his stride and his swing and his emotions. Kid comes right back in there, learned his lesson, and boom, he's back on the races. Topper just does. By the time he started making adjustments, it was already too late. Now last season, he's all like, "Why? I got to move guys around. I got to do this. I got to do that." Okay, it's too late now, Bucko, because now you've hurt feelings. Now you're hurting Nick Castellanos' feelings and other players' feelings, because they're like, "Well, what do you mean? I thought you stick with your guys. You would never do that to me. What did I do wrong?" It starts making this emotional, weird situation. Topper is just you know what? With the way the world climate is. Wait, one last thing. With the way the world climate is, that's what you get when you got a Canadian out here running stuff, being nice to everybody.
No, he said it already yesterday. I mean, the more things change, the more things they say the same. He's already talking how it's going to be Turner, Harper, and Schwarber 1, 2, 3, which means we're going to get Alec Boehm in the cleanup spot again. And it's just like that is why I hate John Middleton right now. It's because John Middleton should be, not so naive and see that Dave Dombrowski and Rob Thompson are the thing that's holding back. That is why Dave Dombrowski has had a leash put on him on spending, because I don't think John Middleton trusts him to spend anymore. But on the flip side, won't fire him. What job can you fail at? And the owner be like, you can keep doing it. I'm just going to give you no more resources to succeed because I don't trust you, but I don't really feel like firing you. It's like he's scared of the confrontation of firing somebody. So you just keep letting them, go about their business, even though it's hurting him.
So I'll be paying attention to the chat. First of all,
yeah,
I didn't criticize Bryce Harper. I said, Bryce, thank you for choosing me. That is the sexiest man in baseball. He is a lion. He has a mane like no other. His hair is like the Goldilocks of hair. If you cut it, the earth might fall apart. Watch yourself in the comments when you mismanage slander upon the greatness that I speak of Bryce Harper. He's not perfect, but that hair is luxurious. And I wish I couldn't grow that.
I couldn't grow that hair if I tried for the rest of my life combined. Yeah.
He's lucky that I love him, because I would kidnap him and just shave it and put it upon myself. I'd fly to Turkey and have it stitched in.
I'm not for toupees, but if it was for his hair, maybe.
You know what I mean? I would look luxurious. I'd be unstoppable. There's a reason I don't have a mane like that. The world couldn't handle it.
No. I couldn't handle it right now. This show would be over right now.
Yeah. But it's this is the year, though, he's going to get fired. Him and Topper are going to be gone. There's nobody else to blame. That's why I love Bryce coming out saying what he said. Yes, it's drama. Yes, it's a problem. I know Middleton does not like that. Middleton is an ear hustler. He wakes up every day. He might even check out this podcast. You put his name in the right taglines. He knows what's going on. The media and the market, when his name is mentioned, he is in there sniffing it out. So he does not like the way that this has started off from the offseason for him. He does not like it.
I actually blame, and I've kind of gotten some criticism for this in the chat before, and I kind of blame the fan base to an extent as well. Because John Middleton, he is a billionaire owner. You know what I mean? He's making money still on the Phillies every single year. He claims he wants his trophy back. He'll spend stupid money. But at some point, he just is letting the same old happen, Dave Dombrowski, Rob Thompson, because as long as 45,000 fans pack that stadium 81 times a year plus all the playoff games, why would he make change? Why would he spend more money? Why would he go to the lengths that the Dodgers go to? You hear Bryce Harper praising the Dodgers like he wants to be there. You know what I mean? And he's not making the change. Why? Because we all fall for it, and we go every single game and, pay the $40 parking. He takes away Dollar Dog Night. We still go to BOGO Dollar Dog Night or whatever it is now. We just keep falling for it every single year.
Who doesn't want to go play for the Dodgers? They're stashing money. That's my big problem with the Dodgers. Not the development, not the doing stuff right. It's the Bobby Bonilla way of paying people. That's the problem for me. That's what I can't stand, because not every owner can do that. Middleton probably could get away with that, but even though these guys are rich and a lot of teams are cheap, no one can get away with, because they don't have that money group that the Dodgers have, where they can just stash money because they've got like 42 owners that are all billionaires and nobody cares about the money. So that part about it, I don't like, Bryce, but again, I hear you. That's how you push the front office and try to get them to spend money at the deadline and next offseason. I get it, but I can't blame him per se. And as far as Middleton's concerned, the problem is that they still play great baseball during the regular season, right? And it is the last bastion of affordability in the sports world. You can't take your kids. You can't take 5 kids to a Sixers game anymore. You can't take 1 kid to an Eagles game. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You can get a family pack, and if you're in there where you got 5 Rugrats and your wife, you know what I mean, and you want to take the baby in, you want to take a hoagie in because you don't want to spend the concession and split the hoagie up between 5 people, you can still do that in baseball. I understand. It's an outside sport on a beautiful afternoon. What's more American than sitting out there in the sun, getting cooked, eating a hot dog? And
that was my childhood right there.
So it's
the 700 level at the vet. In the 80s, my dad would buy all 5 Stiefel kids, $3 general admission tickets. We'd pack a cooler. We'd carry the cooler up to the 700 level. By the 4th inning, we'd be in the 300 level because no one was there, and we'd work our way down the seats. Like, you basically just described my entire childhood growing up in the 80s, going to Phillies games. And that's where the love of the Phillies came from. But we never had good teams growing up. So, outside that outlier in 93, this is one of the better errors that we've seen with this Phillies team, and we're frustrated. You know what I mean? I mean, this is Jason here in the chat saying, we have one of the top payrolls. It's just not spent efficiently. That falls on Dave Dombrowski, and some of the problems there. But John Middleton won't pull the trigger yet, or hasn't.
And maybe when you know that you want to move on from a guy, you don't let the media get a hold of the trash that he's either saying or they're saying about him. So when you go to flip him, everybody knows that you have to get rid of him. So nobody wants to give you anything.
Mm-hmm.
Philadelphia, Dombrowski's handled that miserably. Like you've got to do something else with the marketing and the PR team, because everybody knows your dirty laundry at every situation with players. And so, this is what you get. You reap what you sow. And, I can't blame the fans, because we spent 8-9 years not going down there because there wasn't anything to go watch.
Yeah.
So now I'm going to miss the opportunity to watch Bryce hit 300. You know what I mean? Like,
is he going to hit 300? Do you think he's, sometimes, like, to me, when I was in the work world, because I don't know if you know, I'm semi-retired right now. I sold my business, recently. That's why I'm just doing this every day, and that's it. I don't know if being criticized publicly not behind my back, but to the media, if that would have motivated me to be better, worse, or disgruntled. How do you feel like, obviously Dave Dombrowski and Bryce Harper didn't clear the air, the entire offseason, because it's already, being spoken out. Do you think that makes a better Bryce Harper or a worse Bryce Harper this year?
So I think it makes a better Bryce Harper, just because he's and once you get to the type of player that he is, it's almost like when you slight LeBron, not that he's LeBron James, but like, come on, man. Like, I've done this long enough. Why are you taking shots at me? You've got your own problems to deal with. I came back from injury as fast as possible. I'm trying to keep butts in the seats. The whole, I moved to first base and learned first base. You're Bryce Harper, used to catch. Like, you learning first base isn't impressive to me. You know what I mean? Like, it's like saying, Cassie can learn first base. Like, okay, bro, like, it's first base.
He's already learning first base in one day in San Diego.
Yeah. So you're Bryce, but Bryce has to elevate just because he has to elevate in general. But now he's going to do it because I don't think he wants Dombrowski in that front office anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's repairable. I don't think it's fixable. You don't come out and make statement after statement. Like, Bryce was just like, somebody please ask me something so I can slap this man in the face repeatedly today. And they asked the questions, and he did not stop. He didn't reel it back in. He did not hold back. Every opportunity. He was even like, yeah, I'm surprised Kyle's still even here. He was going to go back home to his family. I mean, they probably overpaid him, I guess, because I don't know why. Like, I'm like, Bryce.
I don't think people realize how crazy the Kyle Schwarber portion of that conversation was. Like, I thought he was gone. And I didn't talk to, like, I thought they were close, but, I didn't talk to him all offseason. I thought he was going to Cincinnati. Like, yeah, it literally makes no sense that we're literally at day one and we've already got this much swirling around. It's all Bryce.
And like I said, that quote unquote hit piece smear campaign on Cassie, I hate when teams do that. I dislike it so much. Like when the Steelers got rid of Tiny Hands, it was, he's a bad locker room teammate. Nobody liked him here. He was a cancer. He gets here, he shuts his mouth, he does his part, he's fine. But they have to do that because 50 to 25% of the fan base is going to be like, I love Cassie. How could you do him like that? Then you got people out here who don't even like him or defending him because I'm like, why are you kicking him in the back on the way out the door? And I can't blame the media on that because they didn't have those stories. Somebody said, oh, you want to know what happened a year and a half ago? Well, here's 4 sources that'll come and tell you from the media. You know what I mean? Like people out here trying to save their jobs through the media, and then the people blame the media. That's your front office doing that. There's no reason for all that stuff to come out with El Presidente, got beer sales going through the roof. Because, again, you're doing terrible PR. You're just out here pumping up companies, giving them free money. That's what I hate about the Nick Sirianni era right now. You can't keep anybody's mouth shut. For as great as Howie Roseman is, you can't keep Kevin Patullo from Pillow Talking to D Gunn and what's his face? Because that's all it is. It was KP. I guarantee you, none of these stories are going to come out next year about Jalen Hurts because KP's finally gone. Fool out here trying to save his job, but he's a moron.
It's funny. That's a great little segue because, like, I was going to say, like, it's like Phillies fans, I don't want to use the word soft because I think that's kind of thrown around too frequently. People are soft. But the lack of criticism from Phillies fans compared to the criticism Eagles fans give the Eagles during arguably the greatest era in Eagles history ever, like, it's night and day. Like, we hold every little minute detail of the Eagles under such a watch and such scrutiny. Yet the Phillies, because they win 96 games, it's all good. It's the Phillies. You know what I mean? Let's enjoy it. I'm already getting criticized on Twitter because of yesterday. I don't know, baseball, stick to football, this and that. What would happen to the Phillies if they were held under the same microscope that the Eagles are held under?
They'd have more pepper than salt in their team. That's what would happen. That's really all it is. I tell people all the time, the Phillies are a legacy team of caucasity. It has a different vibe to it because of the players in general. I mean, I don't bring that up lightly, and I don't say it just because I'm black. I thank goodness that white guys out here say every once in a while, man, I wish we had some color on the team or a little bit more color.
This account right here, Mista, talks about it every time I bring the Phillies up on the show. He brings the exact same topic up.
So that's really what it is, because half the people that even with the Eagles, I'm like, you hate Jalen Hurts this much, and you say he can't read defenses. He's not that smart. I don't care if he's hooked on phonics. He took me to 2 Super Bowls and won one. I thought that's what mattered. Nick Foles was a literal one-hit wonder. He's had 12 games of greatness in his life.
That many?
Yeah. Back remember when he went like 20 for 20? He had 7 touchdowns. Like, I can eat whole Nick Foles there. Like, like about 12 great games. I'm putting all the 5 runs of that postseason all together, even though he only put up 14 points, 12 points. Like, I'm still giving him those legacy games because of the actual run. But we glorify and love and deify him. And I'm like, he came back and stunk it up. And you want to keep Nick around. Well, Nick sucked. We couldn't keep him around. He had his one shining moment. He used all his genie wishes. He had no more wishes left. And Jalen comes in here, takes to the postseason every year. As far as I'm concerned, you go 11-6, lose in the first round, you go to the Super Bowl. 11-6, lose first round, you go to the Super Bowl. We're right back on target, baby, to get 14-3 and go back to the Super Bowl. But everybody wants this guy gone. And it doesn't help that Nick's an actual idiot, lovable idiot. I call him Mr. Magoo. You know what I mean? Just walking around, stumbling into finding out who the murderer was. He can't see anything. He's walking backwards up a plank, stepping on alligators. He should have died 9 times, but somehow he found out who the murderer was. Nick Sirianni is Mr. Magoo.
You know what? He might be Mr. Magoo, but he gets results, unlike Rob Thompson.
Mr. Magoo gets results too.
You question one thing. So one of the big questions are things I criticized about Rob Thompson last year was everyone crucified Ryan Kirkring because of the last play, and obviously he made the wrong decision. But Rob Thompson should have known not to put him in there because Ryan Kirkring in herded runners coming in mid-inning was atrocious last year. Great to start an inning. So Rob Thompson set him up for failure. But you can't blame Rob Thompson for that. That's the player's fault. Nick Sirianni, all he does is help us win, him and Jalen Hurts. Love him or hate him, whether he's Mr. Magoo or not. But yet, every little minute detail that Nick Sirianni does, it's crucified. Get him out of here. Fire this guy. Do we really want to go and, find somebody else when you've got a winning formula with the Eagles, but yet you can't criticize the non-winning formula of the Phillies?
So the Phillies, again, their other problem is that they almost won. And it feels to people like they won because, again, you were starving for postseason so long, and for them to be in the wild card, and for the bell in the bank, like for everything that they were doing. I mean, the city was having literal earthquakes during that postseason run. It almost feels like you won. It's my daughter's playing softball at the time. That was the first playoff, obviously playoff series she's gotten to see in her life. She's young. She cried when we lost. Like, I was like, oh man, you were into it. Every night we're sitting there watching the games together. Like, I didn't even go to games because there are a couple games I could have gone to, but she was so into it. I'm like, I'm not even going to go. I'm going to sit at home with you so we can have our moments and be together. And that means something. That has value to me. The video pops up on my phone. I watch it. Her crying, talking about why did we lose? Why did they do that? And I'm like, welcome to Philadelphia. Your heart will be broken more times than it'll be mended. Just know.
That's a huge part of the problem is that the youth of today don't understand the losing we went through. I'm not sure how old you are. I'm hoping you're as old as me just to make me feel better about this. But, it's like they don't understand what we went through in the 80s and early 90s and stuff like that in this city.
Yeah, they don't. And especially with the Eagles, so many kids just wake up and like, don't we go to the Super Bowl every year, Dad? Like, come on, man. Come on.
Yeah, and I hate this comment from Elephant in the Room. The only thing worse than his bad Ridley Scott takes on this show in the chat is this. You act like it's easy to win a World Series. It's not easy to win a championship in any sport. But just because the team can't win it does not mean they get a pass. Like, if this to me is like such an easy cop-out, and what's wrong with baseball fans and the Phillies fans is, well, it's not easy to win. It ain't easy to win anything, any championship in any sport. We got to hold them accountable if we want them to try to win it.
You ever been in a tunnel, like the Lincoln Tunnel or any tunnel that goes underwater?
Yeah, of course. I get scared out of my mind every single time I do.
They're not easy to build, but people do it all over the world. People did it back without iPhones. People did it without a computer. People put tunnels on ocean floors. What? They did what? So come on. Yeah, a World Series isn't easy, but people win it every year. Somebody wins it every year, so it's not impossible. OKC has failed backwards in the 2 championship appearances and won one before the Sixers have even made it to a Eastern Conference final. Yeah, it's hard. But at the same time, when you got an ownership that cuts you off at the knees and stupid people put in the bad positions that get to have their jobs longer than they should, that's how you end up losing opportunities. They had their shot to win the World Series, and they lost it because Topper shouldn't have been their manager. Good enough to catch lightning in a bottle because the players are the players. But when it came down to the nitty-gritty and someone with a mind to make adjustments, he wasn't the guy to get it done. That's why I do give credit to Nick Sirianni. He was in the Super Bowl. Jaelan had him right there on the door. If it wasn't for a penalty, whatever, the next time, they learn from their mistakes. Get out there early and stay out there often and push their necks to the floor. So, again,
that's the big difference between Nick and Topper. Nick has learned from his mistakes. You never see 2 straight years of the same thing happen with the Eagles because they always move forward. They always advance. They try to make the changes necessary. They're not afraid to make changes. The Phillies, on the other hand, what have the Phillies done to improve their performance on the diamond after every defeat, every year of failure? Nothing. They keep taking steps backwards, not forwards.
And again, even obvious things like you and I don't know anything. You're an idiot. You're sitting here in the morning doing your show that 7 people watch. I know what it's like. Hold
on. There's 12 people watching every morning.
Yeah,
right?
I don't even trust the fact you can count right now. It's early. I can't trust you. I'm not looking at the numbers. I'm just saying I do it at night. I know there's 7 people in my chat too. You know what I mean? Like I'm thankful for all 6 of them or 7 of them when they show up. My point is
2 of them are my computer screens, just so you know, running in the background.
There you go. My point is that as dumb as we are, we're right more times than often than other people are. Like, when Jazz Chisholm was available at the trade deadline, we're like, yo, go get Jazz. Now, did they end up winning a World Series because they got him? No, but it brought juice to the team, and they got him for free. I'm like, why couldn't we do that when we needed someone like that? When you have Bader out here for cheap, why don't you keep Bader? Like, he. Okay, so the biggest thing about Philadelphia is when you find a guy that can play here, you keep him here. Bader's been a lifetime loser. He might have been somewhere else, but then he came here and he flourished. He might continue to flourish here. It's hard to play here and listen to these fans in the outfield talk about your mom and your sister. They got your social security number. They know when your grandmother died. They're talking about the guy that your sister used to bang in high school. Like, we're ruthless. So when you find a guy that thrives here and he's cheap and he's good at his spot. Pay the kid. Oh, no, we can't. We got to let. For what? Like, I mean, like,
you know, let me be honest. Like, I don't think Phillies fans are ruthless enough, you know, to be brutal. We're giving standing ovations to guys that are struggling and stuff like that. You don't see that with the Eagles and stuff. You know, it's mainly the Phillies that are soft like that.
And again, I saw somebody like a Bader fan. I'm not even a Bader fan per se. It's just the fact that, like, when you see good play and the guy's cheap, you got me platooning all these other people. Like, why can't I just keep the kid? Like, it's not a lot of money. That's my thing. I'm thinking, like, it's not a lot of money. So again, we don't know anything, but a lot of smart people say the things that we're saying in hindsight, though. Mm-hmm. But we know we're just fans and we don't know any better, and we should stick to whatever sport somebody agrees with our take. That's how that goes. You know what I mean?
We got a good question here. Who is this dude? I don't know who this dude is that I'm having on. I didn't realize I was going to be entertained this much because, you know, this is morning time and not nighttime for you. You know?
It's just I'm fat gritty. Don't worry about it. We
need to redo this show like in the future at like 12 o'clock at night with a like a finger, like with some whiskey here and something else in my hand over here to. Well, you know,
you can come on Gritty Nights, and then that way, because that's when I do my shows. Gritty Nights. You can come on Gritty Nights when I do my show.
I got your website linked below in the description for everybody if they want to find you and your Gritty Nights. More comments. Bader was a mistake. They definitely should have brought him back. Absolutely agree. I mean, I know Adolis Garcia looks all jacked, but we know Phillies players now seem to be on the juice at least once a year now. So
what's his name?
Adolis Garcia.
Yeah, Megamind.
Megamind, is that what we're calling him now?
Dude, have you seen his dome?
I mean, I was so busy looking at his biceps yesterday in that picture. I didn't take notice on his dome.
Aren't you a married man? Come on, bro.
I am a married man.
Yeah, you're out here looking at these muscles. You're out here looking at these muscles. His head looks like a squid octopus. It's like back there. That's Megamind, boy. His dome is. I don't know how he's got like 2 helmets stacked up. I don't know. They got to weld a new helmet for this kid.
I was trying to open up Twitter real quick to bring his picture up on here, but now Twitter's not working. So go figure on that. But yeah, dude, guy's Jack. That's all we'll say. Love this dude, whoever he is. Come on, guys. How do we not know who Black Gritty is? Like, this guy's a legend right here. Okay, so yes, this guy's got a radio voice. He's called into the radio a few times.
Yeah.
A few times.
Yeah. I've been known to bother people. That's my favorite thing too. Everybody's like, you call both stations. I'm like, you don't even know. I call the country. I be calling CBS National. I call Dallas. I call New York. I bother everybody.
I'm just surprised you still listen to the radio because, you know, I can't handle listening to sports talk radio anymore.
So there's something about my my brain complex that I love listening to stupid people because it makes me feel smart. So I will take every opportunity to listen to dumb things, call in, rant for 3 minutes. That's also the grace that I've been given. When I call in, half my calls aren't a conversation. My uncle always says, I hear you on WIP. You need to like breathe and have a conversation with them. Like they have a 4-hour window to say the dumbest stuff possible. Mm-hmm. I've got 3 minutes. When you're watching TV and a dog commercial comes on, do they interrupt the dog commercial, tell you about the game? No, they don't. I'm giving my dog commercial. My whole spiel is what I need to say, and when I'm done, I hang up. So that's it. I don't need their conversation. They talk for 4 hours. I got 3 minutes. I say my piece, I embarrass them, and I hang up.
Hey, I agree with you. I mean, I just don't listen. Plain and simple. But that's also my whole shtick on here. Don't listen to the radio. Listen to you, listen to me, listen to the countless other people on here doing it so that we go from 7 people watching to 9 people watching. You know what I mean? You know, because, you know, we want more, you know? So
I'll tell you what cheat mode I put in my lexicon. So, like, I'll start watching your show, right? I watched your 10-minute hit last night. I consume all content. People send me stuff all the time, and I'm like, I've already seen it. It's like I watch your stuff at 2x. I watch everything that I can possibly at 2x. If I'm not in the car, even when I listen to radio, I listen at 2x. Like, I don't listen to people because I can consume stuff fast. So I watch everything. I just watch it all in speed. I'm so bad at it that when I talk on FaceTime with people, sometimes I hit the screen like I can make them start talking faster. That's how much I listen to everything at 2x.
Oh man, I love. I can't. I need to slow it down to like -2x so I can. Maybe it's just years of too much drinking and partying in college and everywhere else in my life. Maybe I don't have as big Al calls it. I don't even know what this means. I don't have a strip club lounge background like you, but I've got a party lounge background, and my mind does not process stuff very well. Duck says you must have ADHD.
I wish I had ADHD. I just don't have time. I got to cut down on the time. It can't be sitting here. That's what people say all the time. Like, all you do is listen to radio all day. I'm like, no, I don't. When I get in the car, I listen for 5 minutes. I call, and luckily enough, now I get right on. Like, I'm not sitting on hold for 2 hours. I'm on hold for like 10 minutes. I get on, I say my commercial, I get off, and then I'm not listening to it anymore. So,
this might be one of the best comments about Harrison Bader or Phillies I've ever seen. Considering the fact that we've had 2 Phillies in the last year get suspended for steroids. Harrison Bader, one good steroid injection from being prime Lenny Dykstra. That might be early nomination for comment of the week on this show. Like it's early nomination because I'm not going to not be able to stop thinking about that now for the rest. And the fact that he's going to go do it somewhere else now.
Yeah, and we'll cry about it. We'll be unhappy and everything. We'll complain because that's what we do here in Philadelphia.
I mean, your TMC here is not wrong. It's because I do too many gummies and I forget things. Yes, that is a big part of my problem. All right, real quick, before I let you out of here, I know I told you 20, 25 minutes. We're already over the 40-minute mark. Real quick, what do you got going on? Outside of Gritty at Night, will we be seeing another season of the cheap sheet seats over on PHLY?
So, yeah. We'll probably come back and do an episode or two during the draft run and then back during football. He's usually just focused on football, so Ashworth likes talking about other sports, but Ash has
been on here a few times. Ash is a good guy. I think you three have a very great, I don't know whose idea it was to put you three people together behind a microphone together, but you got the E-Rock personality, you got your personality, you got Ash's very like professional radio way of doing things. Like you guys got a very interesting, eclectic group of individuals there, and I love it.
I just try really hard not to punch Ashworth in the head during episodes, and that's the best I could do.
I love it. I love it.
He's always too happy, but you need that positivity. So it is a good mix of personalities and mindsets. So it's fine. How long does your show usually go?
We go 90 minutes at least every single day.
Yeah. Well, you already woke me up, so if you want to keep talking about other stuff,
going. You want to move on? I mean, I can keep going if we don't have to.
Because I'm not coming back anytime soon, so you got me here. You might as well.
All right, we'll keep rolling then.
I will.
If you want to keep rolling, I can ask you about it. NBA All-Star Weekend. If you watched any of it,
I did.
I will say this about NBA All-Star Weekend. On Twitter, I am reading a lot of great comments about it outside of the dunk contest. But what I'm not reading about is the fact that there's anybody like me that sat down on their couch on Saturday night at 8 o'clock, turned the TV on to expect the three-point shooting contest and didn't realize it was over already because the thing happened at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Was I living under a rock or something? I host a show 5 days a week, and I had no idea that they had changed the time of NBA All-Star Weekend.
Thankfully for me, I have YouTube TV, so it did record for me, but I did the same thing. Yeah. I turned the TV on at 7, and I was in a dunk contest already. And I'm like, first of all, dunk contest is trash. The whole weekend actually was trash, except for the All-Star game, which we'll get into. But I was freaking out. I'm like, what are we on this Grandpa Early Bird special? And I tweeted about it, and a couple people kept coming to me like the Olympics. I'm like, oh, okay, at least there's a reason. At least there's a reason it wasn't at night because the Olympics are going on and they have time slots and things like that, the international. I understand it. But like you said, where was the marketing? Where was the alert? Where was the, hey, guys, this year is going to be different? Like, as much as everybody hates LeBron James, you should have had LeBron James say, hey, All-Star starts at 5 this year. Like, it would have went viral. Everybody would have knew the time because during the Rise of Stars and all that stuff, I think people didn't show up because those events are usually held at night. During the day, everybody's on there like Radio Row, hanging out, meeting people type thing. And nobody was at hardly any of these events this year. So the time of it was terrible, but I do understand now that it is because of the Olympics. So I do accept that and bend it.
I wasn't even thinking it because I am a big Olympics guy. So I was watching the Olympics. I watch it every single night, except for when Jimbo in the chat, spoils it because it's all on replay at 8 o'clock at night. And I don't know that. And he spoils everything for me.
Yeah.
I will say outside the dunk contest, everything I've read and the parts I did get to watch, it was great. But when are we just going to finally just get rid of the dunk contest? I don't know if you caught much of it, but you had the one dude from the Lakers. Literally just out there. I don't even know his name. I don't want to know his name. Taking it so unseriously at this point. Like, I think this year might be the year they finally realize it's time to scratch that and bring something new, something else new into the equation. Maybe a one-on-one contest. Maybe.
So the Mad Chatter, first of all, Mad Chatter, I used to be able to dunk. I could dunk in high school. I could reverse slam that thing. I had calves. Now my belly would not allow the gravity to push the weight that I possess to dunk it again. But I used to be able to dunk. I could slam a jammer. So I know what I'm talking about. I've had rarefied air. Not long. Yeah, I can barely do it, but I can get up there. Secondly, this is where I'm going to have my reverse racism put on people because people tell me I'm racist because I want more pepper on the team. They done took McClung away from the dunk contest. That white boy was saving the dunk contest 3 years in a row. And at the same time, he released his 4 dunks that would have easily cleared the last half decade of dunks. He was doing stuff that he hadn't even done in his wins. And I'm like, because they don't want to give him his little 10-day contract after he wins again. And, no offense, a lot of black dudes are butthurt that this white boy keeps coming in and showing people out. The problem is that this is the one thing I blame LeBron James for. He didn't do it, and everybody thinks, again, that's what happens when you're the king, when you're the GOAT. People start following your lead. Nobody wants to get hurt. Nobody wants to jump over kids anymore. It's not worth it. You've seen everything creative imaginable, and it takes time to come up with those dunks. McClung has nothing else to do besides eat ice cream and imagine ways to kick a ball through a hoop. LeBron James is like, I can do stuff in the game. I can fly over the rim, but I'm not practicing jumping over kids for a week before All-Star week. I'm not doing it. So they need to shut it down because they didn't even let McClung come back and defend himself because they're just tired of this kid winning, which is embarrassing. It's just because he's white, and I don't like it.
White and short. I'm 6'2", 6'3", depending on whether I stand up straight or not. I've never come close to dunking a basketball, and I played ball, okay? Never came close. I'm the epitome of white men can't jump. Like, that was literally based off of me. But, man, that boy's got some ups. Big Al wants to know about what you think about the single Italian luge this week, and I'm assuming he's talking about the women. I know exactly what he's talking about because it was yes.
So,
especially, I know you like things at 2 times speed. You got to watch the Italian luge.
At 2 times speed,
you got to watch it in negative 2 times speed.
At 2 times speed, that recoil is crazy. But I will say this: my luge love was ruined this year. And if I see the man in person, I'm gonna have a direct conversation with him about this. Jason Kelce, you've got to shut up and sit down. You don't have to say yes to everything. You've got a family. You've got $1 billion. The fact that you put on that luge suit, you squoze yourself into a luge suit, and then they put you in that tube, and I got to watch your butt jiggle, literally getting in that tube. You, sir, ruined one of the greatest joys of my life to be a pervert and act like it's about the sport. You took that away from me, Jason Kelce. And when I find you, I'm going to let you know to your face. Stop saying yes to everything.
I want to ask you about this because I saw when you were talking about Mac McClung not being invited back, I did read it this way, that McClung didn't want to do it anymore either. So there are varying reports whether the NBA kept him out of it or if he didn't want to do it. But it might have been just basically what you said. McClung was tired of just having the 10 minutes of fame and not getting anything else out of it also. So maybe there was a little bit of that as well.
So one saying he's not an NBA player. I don't care. I want to see greatness and I want to have fun. Yeah. I'd rather see I'd rather see non-NBA players come in and do a dunk contest and represent a team. Like, give me a ping pong where it's like, oh, you're in a city, you're representing this team, or you're representing a conference or whatever. I'd rather see guys that can actually do fun dunks anymore than these guys that I don't know, and half of them are just out here. Oh, you can do a TikTok dance, bro. Cool story. You're 7'5". You look like a drunk giraffe out there trying to dance, or Bambi on ice. Like, you look ridiculous out here trying to shake it because you did a flying Tower of Pisa dunk. And secondly, Matt McClellan's not in the league. I don't care. He would have got his 10-day contract. He would have been in the league afterwards for at least 10 days. So it is what it is.
Yeah.
And don't let the truth get in the middle of a good time. It sounded good what I said. It might not have been true, but it sounded good. I'm trying to say it for white people. Don't stop me from defending the Caucasians when they need help. I'm trying to help white people.
What do you think about the topic being floated around by a lot of fans on social media? I mean, I suggested it like 3, 4, 5 years ago, and it's slowly starting to get some people suggesting as well about a one-on-one kind of contest, a street ball style, like one-on-one, first to 11, win by 2 kind of contest to kind of continue to excite NBA weekend. Because obviously you had the 3-team thing. I think they could have even done a 4-team system last night, maybe. But like kind of like the NHL. I've always been intrigued by the idea of a one-on-one contest. And I think that the players would take like a KD versus LeBron or a Curry versus Maxey. They would take those things very, very seriously, not to want to be upstaged one-on-one like on major TV.
So in the offseason, that is one of the funner things to watch when these guys work out with each other.
Absolutely agree. I love watching that stuff.
So I would love for a ping pong situation to go down where it's like, all right, we're going to still have your whatever you want to call it. They're not all stars, but like the guys you would have had from the dunk contest or from the skills challenge. Like, you can get some of these younger guys in there and get them involved in that, and then do like a ping pong series where, again, you've been selected for the one-on-one tournament and you don't know who's playing who, and you have a ping pong thing that comes up and boom, that's who you're playing. And then you have a round robin through that. So going into it, you don't even know who you're going up against. You know what I mean? Like, these are not in the same era, but just saying something dumb. Like, if you like, what if you had like Curry versus a center? You know what I mean? Like something like that going on, because just the craziness of it. Now, in the offseason, they would still play it. They would still do it. It wouldn't be a big deal. That could be something extremely fun, and they should do it because they do it in the offseason. And, you could basically dim down the other side, have them warm up so they know who's going next. So 1v1 with, again, the younger to mid-level high names would be great. Like, if I could have saw, Anthony Edwards going against SGA, like in a 1-on-1 to 7.
Oh man,
that would be fire. You know what I mean? Like,
they're my 2 favorite non-Sixers in the NBA. I would literally watch them play for an hour if they were just going 1-on-1.
Yeah, so that would be.
This comment here, 1-on-1 be the issue. It would be fun, but would the big names actually do it? See, the thing is, the NBA's kind of got to. I don't want to say you got to force them to do it, but you got to make them want to do it.
Well,
go ahead.
No, that's why I'm saying you get them while they're early. Get them while they're young.
Oh, I was going to say something along the lines. The NBA makes billions of dollars. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, the money is not drying up in the NBA, but you make it like put a massive amount of money on the line for charity. Everybody that participates gets this huge chunk for their charity, and the winner gets. If LeBron James, I don't know what LeBron James's main charity is. He has a chance to earn $10 million for his charity, and he says, "Nah, I don't want to do it." Then people will look at him differently because he's not going to, give up his time. I've always said a huge sum of money for charity would almost guilt trip these guys into doing stuff like this.
Well, first of all, when he said nobody wants to see Shaq versus Jordan, I don't know. When I was watching Shaq and Jordan in warmups and Shaq shooting fadeaways over Jordan, and Jordan's got his hand in his face, I would like to watch that because Shaq is smart enough to know that I'm not just going to dunk on Jordan 5 times. I want to be able to shoot and show people that I've got touch in a place where it doesn't matter, in a position where I can do it. So I would like to see that. You know what I mean? Like, again, it's a 1-on-1. It's a spectacle. It's a 2-7. And it is what it is. Like, I feel like the players should know better. And to get them to play harder, that's why I said you get them as their rising stars.
Yeah.
To be fair, I'm not really trying to see a 90-year-old LeBron and Durant going 101 right now. But if I could have got them in their first, swing, that'd have been great. There's enough young stars, like, you know what I mean? Like, Luke is still young enough to do it. You know what I mean? Like, there's enough younger guys that could get it done. And if you started it now, it would be a good trend. And like you said, do something for their charity. They usually play hard for charities. They played hard for the world versus UA situation because there's pride on the line. They did the old head versus the young head, like stuff that matters. They gave effort. I think that the NBA, the game last night was great. It was great. Yeah. And people that complain are just, that's what Michael Jordan ruined. Michael Jordan ruined loving the sport. Because now everybody's like, back in the 90s, they used to what? Punch each other in the face and push each other in the back. Yeah. That's basketball. Like, I mean, Jordan cried every day. He was at the NBA home office like, please help me. They have Jordan rules because he was a crybaby. Like, I mean, but Jordan's the toughest that ever lived. And then Kobe Bryant, rest in peace, his passing ruined another generation of basketball. Because at the time, nobody was calling him the greatest player ever. Nobody was ever putting him above Jordan. He was Jordan's clone. And now that he's gone, it's Kobe's first, Jordan's second, and LeBron's got to be third. Like, what are you talking about? Kobe Bryant couldn't sniff a basketball because he was Shaq's sidekick. I know hindsight's 20/20. And then after Shaq left, Kobe Bryant sucked. You know why? Because Phil Jackson left. And the only reason he won again is because Phil Jackson came back. And when Phil left again, Kobe didn't win. It's almost like he needed Phil Jackson to win championships. It's almost like Michael Jordan needed Phil Jackson to win championships. I mean, what? Oh.
All I'll say is Tom Brady didn't need Bill Belichick to win a championship. We can put that.
That's the difference. That's the thing. That's why I give. Hey, so the first three Bill Belichick earners, because Tom Brady threw for Hurts yardage, 187, a touchdown and a cloud of dust. Yeah. After that, he became Tom Brady and he earned all his legacy and all his accolades. But yes, their relationships were split, but Tom did one up him, and now Bill's in a hole with a 17-year-old weirdo chick who's wilding out on the internet every chance possible. So, she's 18. She's legal. I should not play around with ages right now because
we keep it clean here. Someone did comment earlier. Where was it in the comments about the Pro Bowl and NBA weekends are dead and all that? Yet I don't know if you saw. Somebody shared a picture, and it was all over Twitter yesterday, of the ticket prices for the All-Star game in Philly this summer for the Home Run Derby. You're looking at $1,200 plus to go the Home Run Derby and not even sit in the outfield. So as it's dead, and as we talk about John Middleton and everything else in the city, the fans are still pumping out the money for these things. And I wanted to go to the Home Run Derby. I've had multiple people message me, let's go. And then I see that that's what the prices are. I mean, the game's still, I don't know, what's July? That's what, 7 minus 2, 5 months away. Me trying to do math in the morning is not easy. And we're looking at $1,200. It's insane that we hate All-Star weekends, yet people still keep pumping out the money to go see it. Just to get a little glimpse, just a glimpse of a star.
So that's not real, right?
What, the ticket prices?
No, the people at the stands, people in the stands. Oh. So for a playoff game, yeah, people still pump out that money to go. For All-Star weekends and All-Star games, they are corporate puppet events. Okay. The kids you see in there is somebody from Amex and his family that he flew out because they've got a partnership. Half of them are like Kia sponsored, the corporate guys in sales and marketing, and they take their family out there. It's just like the Super Bowl anymore. Yeah. It's corporatized. Yes, there is a small segment of diehard fans that are mortgaging their house for $5,000 a ticket to go there. And there are fans in the building, but for the most part, it is a stale situation with most fan bases. Like the Eagles travel, they'll go buy tickets, stuff like that. But like when you watch these games, you're looking in the crowd and they're like, nobody's dancing, nobody's having fun. It's a lot of standing around. There's not a lot of cheering because those are the people that can afford those tickets. Yeah. And that's why they keep raising the prices, because those are the people that are buying them and going there for those events. A lot of them. Now, there's still fans in the building, but I'll take half of it saying it's corporate money.
Yeah, the first Hurts Super Bowl, what was that? 57. I was in the running to get Super Bowl tickets. Like I was final 3 in a contest. I was an idiot. I messed up anyway. I didn't get them, but I had already pre-planned selling them because, as great as it would have been to go to a Super Bowl, as great as it would have been to see the Eagles in the Super Bowl, I know I could have gotten $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 each for those tickets I would have won. And that's how many months of my mortgage payment. That's my bills for 3 months I could have paid off by selling those tickets because of the corporate aspect of the thing right there. And I would have totally done it. And everyone would have criticized me for it, but I still would have done it.
And if you got money, the real move to do is you get to the city and you wait till the day of the game.
Mm-hmm.
I had a buddy who was trying to get tickets, and the cheapest tickets like 3 days beforehand were $5,000. 2 hours before the game, he got a ticket for $1,200.
Mm-hmm.
Now it was in the nosebleed, but it wasn't the back line.
Mm-hmm.
But he got a $1,200 ticket. He was at Super Bowl. So
I saw somebody
post, you need to be there.
There was somebody that posted on Twitter that they got tickets to the Super Bowl literally 30 minutes before the game started. So he was actually late for the start of the game. He found them online for $50. He got into the Super Bowl for $50 because he waited, and he waited so long that he was late for the start of the game. But still, I mean, you can find ways to do it, but man, it's ridiculous.
By the way, I would tell Black Jesus, aka MJ, to his face, there's a crybaby. He probably couldn't see me through those yellow eyes of his. He also did a whole bunch of weird stuff on the internet last night. Went in his little car racing championship that he didn't drive a lick for. So yeah, you're glorious king out here doing weird stuff, and defending him today is a bad situation for anybody that wants to think Jordan is the GOAT. LeBron James is the king of all kings. He sits upon the mountain. He's going to play till he's 90. He holds all the accolades, and he didn't need Phil Jackson to win championships. And he didn't quit on the game.
I don't want to have an opinion on that just because I don't know what really went down last night. I saw a quick 1-second video of Jordan doing something, and I didn't even know whether it was real or not. So that's why I'm avoiding that topic, because otherwise I would always argue that Jordan has won over LeBron. So
I'm not a Jordan guy.
Bad Chatter has put this comment in the chat like 5 times, and I don't even understand fully what's going on here.
Well, he won a championship last night. If you go look at any of the posted championship, you'll find it. But who watches NASCAR? That's embarrassing for me. I shouldn't say that. I dated a girl back in like 2000, and I used to watch NASCAR heavy because her dad owned like a pro shop. So I was getting all kinds of cool stuff. I was meeting drivers back in the day. So I was a Dale Earnhardt guy. So I shouldn't say who watches NASCAR, but who watches it now anymore? Who watches it?
When I used to run a bar, we used to have these regular guys that would come in on Saturdays to watch NASCAR races. So I'd put it on one TV. But all I knew about NASCAR was, as long as I said I was a fan of what was that dude's name? Gordon. The initials was fans against Gordon, where it was his like, anti-fan club. And so I always go against them. But yeah, I don't even remember much about him other than that. But I would always say I was a fan of Gordon, and everyone would hate me right away. So that would end the conversation. So
and real quick, the last thing about Jordan. The thing I hated about Jordan, the reason even growing up watching him, and sometimes I dreamed that he was me, all the marketing was great. Living in Philadelphia, when I had my Sixers starter jacket on, and we were all Charles Barkley fans, and no one cared about Chicago, to this dude doing Space Jam, and half of my friends now becoming lifelong Chicagoans, like they grew up in middle America and they're Jordan guys. Like, nah, bro, you switched up and went Fugazi on me like that. I hate that, because my friends tried to like, nah, bro. Nope. I still got my Sixers starter jersey jacket on in my heart, and I'm not letting it go. Michael Jordan is not the GOAT. And I'll tell anybody, because guess what? You're not on the show right now, and I am. You're just in the comments. You can keep your Jordan's the GOAT.
Then here you go. This is Rick the Beer Man here. LeBron, if he played in the 90s, would be just Bernard King.
You can hold yourself accountable and know that that's not true. Everybody else, people, again, stick to football. People that are legends in the game. Oscar Robertson. I ain't got to tell you. Everybody knows LeBron's GOAT. You can be bad about it all you want. Phil Jackson helped Michael Jordan. And Scottie Pippen didn't do too bad for himself either. He was LeBron before LeBron. But it is what it is. It's all good. He's just not the greatest of all time. He's top 3 or 5, depending on where you want to put him.
I supposedly I passed over Duck's comment, and he wanted me to put it back up here. Black Gritty dated a white chick. Which Wayne's brother was it?
It was a white chick.
I'm sorry that I didn't even realize, what was.
I wish she was that tall. She wasn't Wayne's brother tall. She was tiny.
I wish she had the Wayne's brothers bank account too. She might not have been a quick hack,
I mean, NASCAR people got money, bro.
Absolutely.
It's not cheap. That is not a cheap sport event, collectible, none of that stuff.
All right, so Eagles fans in here saying I'm ready for Eagles football, but go Phillies. Real quick thoughts on. I mean, we've danced around the Eagles here, with certain topics on the Phillies and Sixers. Where are you at with the Eagles? With the changes that are going on and the drama that feels like it's there but shouldn't be there right now.
The biggest problem for me is the disrespect and mishandling of Stoutland.
Okay.
For the fact that, again, the media was talking all these leaks about Jalen and what was going on with Jalen, and they took the responsibility of the run game away from Stoutland in Game 5 and was so bad about it that every week we're like, why aren't you running tank? So you took over the run game and you still couldn't see what the problem was. All of us could see that Tank was just a better back. And he's not better than Saquon Barkley, but after running 2,000 yards, every player's legs aren't fresh. His legs were. He had hunger. So the fact that you took it over week 5 and you sucked at the running game for the rest of the season and you made Stoutland want to leave, that's a problem for me because guess what? We need to draft linemen. And again, you bring this other guy in, one, we don't know about his track record. He used to be a lineman. It doesn't matter. And he might be a good offensive line coach. What I don't know is, can he develop guys? Yeah. Stoutland would develop guys. How he could go out and find Cole and Stoutland would turn it into diamonds. So that's my biggest issue. That's my biggest problem right now. Everything else, hope, change, love springs eternal. You think things are going to work out. Howie is great with the cap and Wizard. He's going to sign guys. We're going to lose guys because that's what happens. But that O-line, it better be seamless in this transition because if not, losing Stoutland is the greatest loss for me.
It's funny. I had Ed Kratz on the show last week from Sports Illustrated, Eagles beat reporter, and we talked about this a little bit. And it's like this new guy, not only does he have to develop the next people, but he's also got to find a way to get these veterans like Lane Johnson, Landon Dickerson, Jordan Mailata, who have done things one way, Stout's way. And the whole entire offense is going to be different. Will the ones you even have developed be able to seamlessly transition to another style? And it's something that I never even thought about. It's like all I was thinking about was you can't take reaches in the draft. You got to get blue chip prospects that definitely have the game already. Well, you got to worry about the game the current players have. Will they even fit the design that they're going to be asked to do? More zone blocking, more running downfield, more side to side. Will Lane Johnson or Jordan Mailata even be able to do that? And will the new guy even be able to coach them to do that?
And that's the thing about Stoutland. Stoutland has been the constant through 3 regimes, 4 regimes, 5 regimes. So whatever kind of style you wanted, he could coach it for you. He could help you. He was adaptable. He started with Chip Kelly, and Chip was running a wild offense that nobody runs, and he could adapt to that. So I would assume that he can adapt to anything as far as coaching is concerned. And again, motivating and developing guys. If you still wanted to call it, and he was still there developing guys on the side just to teach them how to be linemen, at least there's good linemen here that can coach each other up, but it's still not the same.
Everyone's with you. They stand with Stout. I'm on the other. I had no problem with them moving on from Stoutland. I didn't. How they handled it, maybe I had a problem with it. The way the leaks are coming out, maybe I have a problem with it. Let's not act like the offensive line was great last year either. You know what I mean? They were banged up. They had injuries, but Cam Jurgens, regressed beyond belief last year.
See, this is where on the internet I would call you stupid. And I'll tell you you're stupid.
Bring it on.
I just told you they took it away from him at Game 5. So from week 5, the terrible play that you saw was Nick, I don't know how to call plays, Sirianni, and KP, please give me some toilet paper calling. That was their fault. So the regression you saw is not on Stoutland. So you want to move on from Stoutland being fine with it is a stupid statement. I just told you, week 5.
They took away the run game role from Stout, not the offensive line coaching. Like Stout was still in charge of coaching. Cam Jurgens was the worst center in football last year. Literally, right after getting a big extension. The worst center. And you couldn't figure out a way around him to improve him, to settle him down?
I'm not blaming Stoutland for any of that because you took his power away. And you know what happens to grown men when you take their ball away? You get Bryce Harper out here on day one talking trash because you took his power away. So I don't care what you say. Stoutland had nothing to do with that offensive performance. And Cam was hurt. Dickerson was hurt. This is nobody's watching your show. There's only 7 of us here. I'll say it now. I'll give you a nugget. Jordan Mailata was injured for over half the season. He did not complain. He was never put on an injury list, but I saw him out in public one time. And again, it's almost like when your child's standing next to you and they want to lean on you. Like we're standing there, he's waiting to sign autographs, whatever. And I don't know him personally. I know him enough that he knows my face, knew who I am. And I was like, "Hey, how you doing, buddy?" He's like, I'm good. He's like, "Do you mind if I lean on you for a second?" And I'm like, "Sure." I was like, thinking he had to like tie his shoe or something. And just like you do when you're a kid and you're at the park and you're tired, and you just use him as a stool. He used me as a stool when he's just sitting there. And I'm like, "Are you all right?" He's like, "Man, my foot is killing me." He's like, "I just gotta power through this or whatever like that." I'm like, you weren't on the injury report. Like, why aren't you on he's like, "Dude, we've got guys with real injuries. I'm not saying anything about it." I'm like, "Yeah, but you just got hosed last week. Like, say something." He's like, "Well, you know what happens when you tell people that you're injured? Guys attack you where your injury is." He's like, I'm not dealing with that. I'm not doing that. I'm just not going to do it." So it's not an excuse for him either. But I mean, like, guys are going through stuff that you don't even know. They don't got Stoutland. They're hurt. They're emotionally hurt. So again, I'm not giving them a pass, but they were all injured because they also rushed for 2,000 yards last year. And it's really hard to do. And it's hard on the body and going to the Super Bowl and not having the time off. And everybody's got commercials and girls jumping out of jacuzzis and you got all this excitement going on. You don't get the rest you need. So I'm giving them a pass because KP and Nick Sirianni screwed it all up and messed everybody over. So stop it, Phil.
On the Jordan Mailata thing, I will say most people forget that I think it was like week 2 or week 3 of the season on one of his with one of the radio stations he was doing a show weekly, and he did talk exactly what you said about the 2,000-yard rushing. Everyone talks about Saquon not, repeating that. Well, what about the offensive line and the wear and tear? And I think he said, he never said he was injured, but I think he said on one of his appearances, "Look, I'm tired." Yeah. And he just said, "I'm tired and my body's worn out." He never said he was hurt, but it makes sense now hearing that because even to the casual eye, even Jordan Mailata looked like he regressed a little bit last year.
And it was funny because, again, like I said, I'm not going to say that he's my friend, but he knows who I am. And some of these players like watch my videos and stuff like that. And like 2 weeks afterwards, when I saw him, first thing I said, "How's your leg?" He's like, "Dude, it's the same." He's like, "Thanks for not saying nothing." And I was like, I felt like you were talking to me like a man, and it wasn't something for me to say.
Tell everybody that you said it now. So
yeah. Now season's over. I don't care now. You know what I mean? Okay, and it's early in the morning. There's only 7 of us here. Nobody cares. But they're going through stuff that you don't even know. And again, I'm literally sitting there like, "Dude, say something. You got pancake last week. Like, the internet is clowning you."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he's like, "I don't worry about that. I just do my job." He's like, "That's not the point."
Actually, the way that, Jordan Mailata handled it, according to you and all, that's just one of the many reasons why we love him. Because he's the ultimate team guy. He's the one, no matter who his quarterback is, he's going to have his quarterback's back, whether it's Jalen Hurts or whoever else. Like, he's like the ultimate team guy there.
He's the Brandon Graham of the offense. He says the right things. He toes the party line. He actually cares about the team. He came from humble beginnings. He's forever going to say when he's on prime time on Monday nights, Thursday night, Stoutland University. I mean, where did you go to school? Stoutland University. So,
I mean, he was a guy that, he didn't even have football in his career mind till the year before he started playing football, not even a year before. So, I mean, I kind of feel like Jordan Mailata is one of those guys. He just appreciates the opportunity he's had in life, and he's not stuck playing rugby for a tenth of the money,
And one of the comments, I don't know if you threw it up earlier, but they were talking about how I feel about Jalen Hurts not running. There's 2 reasons Jalen Hurts didn't run throughout the season. Against the Denver Broncos, when he did not complete a pass in the second half and he only threw to A.J. Brown, Jalen Hurts had a concussion. This isn't me having inside knowledge. This is me watching all 22s.
Yep.
They came out after halftime. Jalen Hurts was running. He slid and he got hit. It was a big deal because they didn't throw a flag on it, but he got hit in the head. His head hit the carpet. Two of the linemen had to pick him up real quick off the carpet. After that, he couldn't see his broadside of a barn. That's why he just kept throwing to AJ. He could not see. He was concussed. I don't care what anybody says. He went over. He was knocked out. And they were like, you know what? We're not going to run you for a little bit. Then you start having O-line problems. And I was like, well, now you're really not running because we're out of sync. We're not playing right. Everybody wants him to run. I'm like, run where? Your running back can't even get open lanes. And he's already halfway seeing ghosts because the line was holding up for the pass sometimes, but not. So I can't knock him for not running because you need him to win games. So it is what it is. Again, I'm blaming all that on Nick Sirianni and KP because I can. They messed up the running situation for everybody, the O-line and everybody.
Despite Nick Sirianni screwing it up for everybody last year, you already mentioned every other year we're in the Super Bowl. Do you have confidence that Nick Sirianni turns it around this year and gets back on this every other year Super Bowl run thing?
Yes, because
you don't sound like a huge Sirianni fan.
Are you a Nick guy?
I'm a Nick guy because all I care about is winning. And we've had the greatest 5-year run in Philadelphia Eagles history.
I'm not a Nick guy because he embarrasses me.
Okay. There's people in the chat that would agree with you on that.
But for I have faith because Nick Sirianni is in control of the offense. I guarantee you this. I don't know what you know about anything, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? Like, I've seen you on the internet. I don't know you enough to know, but I know for a God-given fact, you could call plays better than Nick Sirianni and Kevin Patullo. If I gave you a play sheet with plays already designed up on it, you not knowing what's going on, you would pick a better play call than those two. So anytime that Nick or one of Nick's quote-unquote disciples is not in charge of the offense, I have supreme faith with all the talent that Howie puts on the team that the offense and the team will succeed and do much better. So bringing in Minion and all these other little minions is so much better than having Kevin Patullo, Nick Sirianni's little butt buddy, to following him around and want to be his best friend and call him plays. So, yes, I have supreme confidence in the offense this year, even though I've not seen Minion do anything. And he's Minion until he shows me he can play or call plays, and I'll call him whatever his real name is. But right now, he's Minion.
Duck always he's one of the biggest, adversaries to me in my Nick Sirianni conversation in the chat. And it's mainly because he doesn't like the personality of Nick. And he wants a more stoic, almost like Bill Belichick type, leader in that position. And I don't care. I don't care how he does it as long as it works, right?
He doesn't even have to be stoic. I don't need him childish in public. When he's walking down the hall and he's yelling stuff and A.J. Brown's looking at him like, bro, what are we doing? That's embarrassing. Your players even looking at you like, what are you doing? You're out there yelling at fans. You need a babysitter on the sideline. You're a grown man, and Dom's got to sit out there and go like this every 5 seconds and pull you back. That's embarrassing. That's not good. Your leader can't be the guy. Jalen Carter's out here spitting on people. And now Nick Sirianni's going to be like, you can't do that. Really, Nick? I can't do that? Look at how you act. Look at you getting in A.J. Brown's face when everybody else is messing up, but you got a problem with A.J., so you want to take it out A.J. on national TV? Like, reel yourself in. And the fact that after 5 years, you can't reel yourself in, again, I'm not at that high level, but as a coach, you've been to softball games and soccer games where these parent coaches are freaking out, and then you see the little kids freaking out too. And you're like, well, I learned it by watching you. Yeah. Where'd you get these drugs from? You all right? I learned it from watching you. Like, you can't. I just need them to be, after 5 years, you can't mature a little bit. I get the passion, but like, come on, bro, grow up, at least in public. You shut the door behind closed doors, you know what I mean? Cohen, the Bears coach out here taking his shirt off and all kind of weird stuff. Fine. He's not out there doing it on the field.
We got a comment here about A.J. Brown dropping a ball, but that leads to one of the big questions of this offseason. That's A.J. Brown, trade him or not. But it also brings up A.J. Brown's, he's an elite wide receiver when he's motivated, when he's, focused and stuff like that. What do you do with A.J. Brown? Like, I know the numbers on trading him, the dead cap and all, but can you keep a guy that takes his frustrations out on the team by losing concentration, by purposely tanking plays? I keep thinking of Roger Dorn from Major League tanking the ground ball on Ricky Vaughn, you know, and I don't know if you could bring A.J. Brown back when you know he tanks plays.
I was on Instagram 5 years ago, and I just scrolled by a woman, beautiful woman, and she had a tear in her eye. She was usually, I don't like women crying on the internet. It annoys me, but she was so beautiful. I said, let me find out who made this woman sad. And it was her talking about, I just divorced my husband, the greatest man I ever was with, the greatest man I ever knew. He worked hard. I didn't have to work. We went on trips. He was a great family man. My family loved him. He was amazing. We were trying to have kids, and if we would have had kids, he would have been the best father ever. Everything he did was perfect, and everything he did was right. But for some reason, it just didn't feel right, you know? And I couldn't get past the feeling that maybe I deserve better, and there's something better out there for me. And after today, the divorce is final, and I just feel free. I feel free, and I can't believe I followed that woman. I saved that video. I turned on alerts. A year and a half later, beautiful woman in her car crying. The dating scene is so crazy. These men don't care. They just want to sleep with you and use you, and it doesn't matter what's going on in the world. And that is A.J. Brown. You could have everything. You could be a champion. You could be racking up numbers and helping your career, and you still aren't happy. So no matter what I do for you, you're not going to be happy. He can't stay on this team, because even when you're 14-3, even when things are going right, when he looks across the way and he sees a guy with a Heisman trophy, a national trophy, a championship trophy, he feels like, I'll never have that. I'm angry today. Let me go on the internet. And what are you going to do with that, bro? Like, at some point, you gave a chick everything and she's still not happy. There's nothing I can do for you. So at some point, he's going to be a cancer to the locker room. He's going to have issues and problems, because even at his epic proportions of top greatness, he's still not happy. And I love AJ. He's always open. I thank him for his services. But, bro, if you could flip him, you got to dip him and let him understand that the grass is not greener. Do you not forget that you came from the Tennessee Titans? Okay, you want to go play for Drake Mayo? Hell to the Nayo. Enjoy that. I'll ship you off there for 2 first-round picks. If they want you so bad, the cap will be damned if I get the right price. But, again, go out there with Mayo and see how many balls you get and see how life is treating you.
Look, I agree, and I don't even care. I've talked about on this show countless times. I'm no cap expert. I don't know numbers very well, but I do know that, you know, Seattle just won the Super Bowl, and they had almost $100 million in dead cap this year. I don't think people realize that. So you could take dead cap hits and handle that. The question is, can you trade A.J. Brown? You just joked I sarcastically, get 2 first-round picks for him, ship him out. Nobody's giving you 2 first-round picks for him. I don't know if anybody's giving you 1 first-round pick for him, because if we see it, if the Eagles know it, I mean, the latest report, I think it was Tim McManus, that after week 3 against the Rams, when he had 100 yards, a touchdown and whatnot, that was the first time he asked for a trade this year. Like, if we see it, we all know it, everybody else knows it. So they're not going to give you a first-round pick. They might not give you a second-round pick. I did a deep dive on wide receivers, elite wide receivers, and what they were traded for. And you'd be shocked. Some of them go for first-round picks. Some of them go for 4th, 5th, 6th-round picks because of the drama that's associated with them.
I just told you about a woman that I saw on the internet, and I told you how crazy she was.
Yeah.
I still take a chance. I could save her. When you think about A.J. Brown and triple coverage and coming out with the ball and doing this, and this, and you're thinking you're one piece away, people do dumb things for people that they want. And again, you got the situation where you never thought you'd get what you get for Carson Wentz, but you know what you had? You had a sucker in the right place that really wanted him. And that sucker for our situation is Vrabel. And he never wanted to let go of A.J. Brown. He was pissed that they got rid of A.J. Brown. He knows A.J. Brown. He gets A.J. Brown. And he's a real competitor that played the game under Bill Belichick. And A.J. knows that he knows how to play the game. And guess what? You just might, Phil. You're probably right, but emotions make people stupid. And a boy can dream, Phil.
Yeah, you know, here's the thing, though. Like, you know, if you're not getting that, like, we just went through and we started the show. This is like we're coming to the end of the show, so we're bringing it full circle. Nick Castellanos and how all that drama played out with the Phillies, and you had drama start at the start of training camp because Nick Castellanos was still technically on our roster, just being told to sit at home and not come. Do the Eagles have to make this decision quicker rather than let it drag out? Like, clear the air, make sure AJ's happy, or just move on from him right now so that this is not a topic in OTA, so this is not a topic in training camp. Just make a definitive, open statement about what's going on so that the drama's not there. The drama's not carrying on to this new regime that's taken over the offense.
Well, whatever Jeffrey said when he came down from on high, AJ Brown has changed his tune and fixed his mouth. Right. Even in the Super Bowl, the press Reese, he was on the podcast. He said all the right things, which AJ Brown usually does. Right. Unless you make AJ Brown upset, he gets how he gets. He usually is saying the right things. He's a team guy. He's never said he didn't want to be here. He called up the radio station and took them to task directly. Shout out to Jack Frisk, got shook out there because AJ stood on business. So in general, AJ says the right things and does the right things. So I'm not super worried about that part of it. You know what I mean? It's not a Dombrowski situation with AJ because AJ was already spoken to and he took that talking to heart because we haven't heard anything since then. I just know that he's never going to change. And once there's turmoil again, he will be frustrated. He will either show it through his play or through his words after games. So,
all right. Guys, this has been a very different version of the morning show today for the 7 of you that are watching right now. As he likes to say, guys, you guys got to check out. If you haven't followed him before, I don't know what you're doing, but he does his stuff at night mostly. I've got his LinkedIn down below in the description of this video. Make sure you check him out because this is what he gives you whenever he goes live on the air. Plus, he does the cheap sheets over on PHLY All City over there with E-Rock and Ash. This has been interesting. This has been fun. I've really enjoyed this morning. I didn't have to talk. I actually got to finish my entire cup of coffee during this show.
I mean, like I said, if you woke me up, I might as well do the heavy lifting for you because I'm here now. So
this was an easy run for me. Like I didn't have to argue with the chat. 280 comments. I'm just sitting here. I'm just sitting here having a good time, laughing like I do when I watch your shows at night.
I'm on the YouTube. I'm on the things. Instagram is where I usually get down. I took a little bit of a hiatus because I usually don't talk when I'm angry because a lot of my content is just how I am now. Like, but if I'm mad, it comes off so bad, and I'm like aggressive. And so when I'm happy, it's better. But I'm back to shooting my own show now that the cheap seats is in hiatus for the summer. But hit me up at night. I'll be there. Like I'll make you come on, hang out. I mean, swap that coffee out for some brown liquor. You know what I mean? Get your tongue loose and see what happens.
I just have to keep the gummies off to the side because you don't need that.
Not your retirement like me right now. You know what I mean? Retirement's good. I tell people all the time I'm pre-retired. Like,
I was told I'm not retired. I am just in a sabbatical mode of my life. I'm on an Aaron Rodgers dark retreat right now, basically, till I find that next passion. That's what it is.
Well, I just say I'm pre-retired. And they're like, what's pre-retired? Like, if I run out of money, I'll go back to work. You know what I mean?
Basically. That's what I'm doing right now. It's not if I run out of money, it's when I run out of money. So that's more like it with me.
That's what happens when you're married. See, I'm single out here. You know what I mean? I'm out here.
I'm a married man. Yeah, exactly. Hey, I'm happy. We take vacations. That's where she spends my money. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. That's somebody helping you spend your money. I'm out here being frugal out here. I'm like, look, we going somewhere? Nah, we ain't going nowhere. All right, cool.
I love it. Guys, I got a special thank you very much for coming on. I greatly appreciate it, my man. This has been a blast. We'll do it again, but we'll do it at nighttime for you, in the future and stuff like that.
Thanks for having me on. I appreciate you.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Guys, that was AKA the guy known as Black Gritty on the I Have No Sponsor hotline. Thank you very much for everybody. Tomorrow morning live, 8 a.m., we'll have the great Luke Arcaney coming to you from Crossing Broad talking Phillies baseball and all the stuff with Bryce Harper again tomorrow morning, so don't want to miss that. And then Chet in the chat from Philly Press Box Radio will be on. Everybody have a great day. But for now, make sure you like, share, subscribe. Go Birds, and always bubbles up.